Hey, this is Joe Price. I just wanted to provide some instructions for a short-term project that we've set up. What we have is a sample of African Americans from the 1940 census who have death information on the family tree or from whom we've been able to find death information using some record linking. And what we want to do is just evaluate the quality of these. So you'll just come into the sheet and put your name in. And so then you'll just click on the link and it'll take you to the profile. And so one of the first things I do is I just click on this thing to just see kind of what we know already. So actually this one looks really good already. Look, we actually have four records that provide the death information. So I feel very confident in that death information. And then the other thing I often do is just kind of check over here on Ancestry, see if there's maybe a public member tree for this person. This person has 25 public member trees, and this first one looks like a great one. Um, it's interesting that here on this tree, it's saying over here, it's saying about. I'm actually just going to, let's just see. Oh, I can see. So 1st of July. Actually, that's really interesting. I'm actually going to put in the 1st of July for that birth date. Let's see if we have the city, dry branch tree. Okay. And now I thought maybe we'd pick up the year or the place of death. But here, so that I think actually we can feel very confident that this is the correct death information for this person. There's lots of, sources supporting it. But since we're looking at this public member tree on Ancestry, what I'd encourage you to do is also just feel comfortable, adding in some of the family members. I'm just going to add in his spouse. And so that when someone comes to family search, they'll be more certain that this is their grandpa or grandma or great grandma. Okay, so I'll put that in there. So notice I'm just kind of bringing that information over here to the family tree. And that's just kind of a bonus. There we go. And then what I would do is, and again, this is totally optional what I'm doing right now, and I'll probably finish it right after, is I would go attach her now to the 1940 census so that I can bring her parents over. So I'll do that right after the video. I'm going to just kind of, okay. So then this is all done. We'll always put a one, even if it's wrong. But if it's wrong, just give us some notes and say like, this is why it's wrong. Because at the end of the project, what we're going to do is we have the death date from before. You do whatever it takes to get the correct death date on the family search tree, and then we'll go and check it again, and then we'll be able to see, like, maybe something started out as 1971, but turned into June 2nd, 1971. But really, the goal here is just we're trying to evaluate the quality of the death information that's on the family tree for Black individuals that are attached to the 1940 census. So let's just do kind of two more together. So again, we come to the profile page. First thing we can do is kind of look here and see what sources are attached. So you can see here 10th of December, 10th of December, 10th of December, December 1978. So everything's kind of like working really well here. And actually we have just a little, here's one case where we have just a little bit more information. We have like an exact town rather than just the county. So I'll put that in. So this one I'd actually probably just feel fine, not checking on Ancestry, but let's just check on Ancestry because one thing I noticed is his wife doesn't have any information. And so right here, okay, so but actually, we don't actually have that many trees for him. We have this one that's, not quite as complete as the one on Family Search. So we'll call that good. So we'll just put a one. Let's just try one more together. Again, our primary goal is just to validate whether the death information is correct. So here we have someone, and you can see that the death information matches this record, but we also have these other record hints. So if we can attach a couple more sources, then we'll feel a lot more confident. So you can see here, it says Tahoma, which in King County. Oh, actually, so that probably is correct. So maybe the Tacoma is wrong. Let's see. So here's the date. Okay, so this is definitely our person, Errol Oldwin Moss. We'll attach that source. And then it looked like there was one other record here. Okay, perfect. Okay, and this one does say Tacoma. That's interesting. Okay, so then this one actually we feel really confident about, and we've attached a couple additional sources. So now you can see that's like confirmed a couple different ways. And so then we would just put a one there. And again, we don't know how many of these will be wrong, but we are looking for those that are wrong. And we'd love to, if it is wrong, put some notes there. We're going to go kind of investigate it and see, why that is. The end result of this short-term project is that we want to be able to say something about the quality of the death information for this population, and we're using it for a National Institute of Health grant. And this is our way of kind of checking the quality. But more broadly, I get sometimes people say things about the tree like it's a wiki tree, there's all these mistakes. And it is true, you're going to come across mistakes, but anytime you take a random sample, then you can actually see, well, there are mistakes in the tree, but how common are they? And so in this case, maybe I think this sheet has, 1,000 people, and so we'll check 1,000. And so, maybe, you know, maybe we'll find 100 mistakes. If we find 100 mistakes, then 10% of these are wrong. But it's possible maybe only 10 of them will be wrong. And so that's really what we're trying to get at is just get a sense of like how many of these are incorrect. And so just leave notes if you think they're incorrect. Thanks for helping with this project.